And there's three things that I want you to be mindful of when you decide to take on the activity of trying to convince someone that you know that their perspective should be looked at in a different way. Second thing, you don't know how high the standard is. And you're like, what do you mean by how high the standard is? If someone is telling you from a particular standpoint that this is what they don't want, and they are looking for you to convince them otherwise, if their standard is really high, you may be going through an exercise of giving them 1,000 different reasons why this is not the right course of action or why they should do a different course of action. But if their standard is so high, it doesn't matter what you say, then what you've done is you've effectively spent a lot of time, either one, affirming that their impression was correct, or two, not being disrespectful. You've expended a lot of your time basically trying to chop down a tree that wasn't going to fall to begin with. In other words, if they've already decided this is a deal breaker for me, which is why I don't want to do this, then if they don't tell you that, or if you don't know that, then what you're now doing is you're engaging in this activity where you're basically it's an exercise of futility is what we often call it. Basically, you're wasting your time because they've already said, this is my deal breaker. Well, if that's your deal breaker, then anything I say doesn't matter because what you're effectively telling me is that whatever I say, it's not going to change the fact that this is the deal breaker. But most times they don't tell you that. So what ends up happening is that the person hasn't shared with you that this is the thing that is so significant that there's nothing you can say. They'll never say that because they know if they tell you that, then there's no need for you to get into this argument. So what ends up happening is that they tell you this, not letting you know the degree of significance of importance of it. And as a result, you spend an inordinate amount of time, a whole lot of time, going through this exercise of talking to them about A, B, C, D, and E as to why they should look at this a different way, not knowing that the bar is so high, there's no way that you could overcome it.